Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you live. Welcome to our Friday voiceover Q&A. I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent, voiceover coach. What's going on, guys? Welcome. You made it to Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for being here. Take a moment, if you would, just to, while you're here, get on the live chat. Let me know who you are. I guess I can see who you are when you post your comment, but let me know where you're watching or listening from this morning. Anything else that's on your mind? Because today it's Q&A. It's voiceover question and answer. If something's on your mind, put it in the live chat. I'll grab a handful of those and answer those to the best of my ability this morning. Hope you guys have had a great week. Um, it's been a crazy week around here. For one reason, I've been working around noise. Construction continues inside and outside the Deweese household. It was insane yesterday. They were doing gravel compaction in the backyard before they put some pavers down, and it was kind of nutty. Also, I bought a new car this week, and this is related to voiceover, so bear with me just a moment. But my history with cars is it's interesting. When I go back to when Vicky and I were first married, we had a 1972 Ford Pinto. There might be a few of you who are old enough to appreciate the danger of owning a Ford Pinto. It was found out that Ford Pintos would often explode upon impact from the rear. It would explode the gas tank. So many people died from that in Ford Pintos, they quit making them anymore. So we survived that and then went through a series of cars which were held together by rubber bands, bubble gum, paper clips, by any way, any means necessary to keep those cars going. Once I got into voiceover, I was able to actually, be able to afford, I don't know, pretty much whatever I wanted. When I say that, what I mean by that is I'm not a guy who has a taste for exotic, two to $300,000, $500,000 cars. Like I have a 13-year-old grandson. That's where his taste runs. But I've been able to pretty much, get whatever I want. But the car that I've enjoyed driving the most, and the car that I got another one this week, is a Ford F-150 truck. My gosh, I never picture myself as a pickup truck guy. I mean, I don't do tools, and I don't haul stuff around. That's not. But you drive one of those things, holy cow! I was telling Vicky this week, I feel like I'm sitting in a big soft marshmallow on a big soft marshmallow with a car. When it's heated, and man, it's amazing. But here's the cool thing related to voiceover: it has a 120-volt outlet in the front. So when I talked about doing some recording in the car, the F-150, as far as I can tell, is the perfect environment for people who want to record from the car. I'm not saying there might not be others that would work as well or maybe even better, but this thing, I mean, is spacious, big, wide, like the armrest between the two front seats is like that wide. It's huge. A good place to put like a mic interface and whatever you need there. It's got the 120 volt right there in the front. I could plug that in, or my computer in. Of course, this MacBook Air will hold a charge for hours and hours and hours, and get a clip for a microphone, put it up on the sun visor. Man, I'll be in business, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it. At some point here in the near future, I'm gonna test that out and, do a video about it, but feeling pretty good about that. Well, guys, again, very glad you're here and appreciate your questions and your comments, and I'm going to go to the top of the chat, and let's just see what we got going on here. Ron, hello, first in this morning from Charleston, South Carolina. Susan, good morning to you in Stillwater, enjoying 56 degrees already this morning. Wasn't yesterday, at least for a big part of the country, Midwest, so comfortable yesterday. Crazy. It seems to me it's usually colder by now, but I'm sure just by merely saying that, Mother Nature will strike quickly and with a great deal of, I was gonna say anger, but I guess for some people, snowy weather doesn't mean anger. It means, soft, fluffy bunnies and Christmas and that kind of stuff. Phil in Tokyo, Corey, what's up in sunny, warm Whitehall, Wisconsin? We've got Bill in Pine Knoll Shores, North Carolina. We've got, let's see here, looks like Russell in Rocky Top, Tennessee, an hour northeast of Knoxville. I know very well where Rocky Top is. Russell, I have driven past there probably 100 times. on my way to and from Knoxville and sometimes even going further south than there, but love that part of the country. Love the Smoky Mountains. Love it, love it. Melissa, hello to you in San Diego. Sandra in London, Ontario. Can I explain basically how Upwork works? Well, Sandra, contrary to popular belief, I am not on Upwork. And the only reason is because you can really only juggle so many marketing channels at one time, and I've got a number of established marketing channels. So it's not something that I'm personally doing, although a number of the students in my voiceover blueprint are having great success. And they share in our private Facebook group. They support each other and share information and help each other. So I really don't have any inside information. I can only tell you that I know I have a number of students who have had very good success on Upwork. So it's certainly worth investigating and looking into. And if you get into my voiceover blueprint, you can kind of join in that discussion. But I'm personally not on it, so I really don't have any insider information to share with you. I'm sorry to say on how that works. Hey, Rusty, in the far, far, far north of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. Good morning. Hey, Johnny in San Francisco. Merrill, what's up? Always a good morning when I can make it into the morning huddle. Yes, you have a wonderful weekend as well, Merrill. Hey, Robert, let's see here. College bowl system is crazy. Are here to complain about our 4 finalists. I won't we're not gonna go down that road. You know, since Ohio State's out of the picture, I mean, they've got a bowl game, but, maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm more invested in the NFL right now. Hey, Viv, what's going on in Hoboken? Greg in Asheville, North Carolina. Aaron in Columbia, Missouri. John, hello and greetings to you in San Diego. QD World, good morning. Dale, what's up in Atlanta? Mark in Estes Park, Colorado. Sandra in Dallas, Fort Worth. Danielle in Fort Wayne. Mike says, recently you shared an incident when someone on an internet thread referred to you as a hack. Well, your supporters outnumber your detractors 1,000,000 to 1. Oh, Mike, thank you I appreciate you saying that. To me, that stuff is kind of like they're like leaves on the stream. They come and it's like, oh, look at that, and then they float on past, and then I move on from there. But thank you, I appreciate the kind remark. Hey, what's up, Michelle in Philadelphia? Bill in Idaho. Wayne, what's going on in Port Orchard? Terry in chilly, cold Falston, Maryland. Bill, is it possible to have a space that is too small for recording? I'm in a 2-foot wide closet with moving blankets, etc., and am having difficulty getting rid of room noise. Um, I don't know that it is, Bill. Now, it might present its own, problems in how you treat it. But I will tell you this. Now, this is not the booth I'm in is not 2 foot. It's 3.5 feet wide by 5 feet. So it's a little bit sounds like it's a little bit larger, at least, excuse me, a little bit wider than the space that you're in. But, if you're familiar with the Chaotica eyeball, it's essentially it looks like a Nerf ball. It's an acoustically designed ball that fits around your microphone that kind of creates its own space, and it's very, very small. So I don't think it's too small, and I just say that as a layman, not as an engineer. I'm not an engineer. I mean, I can do engineering stuff. I know how to work stuff. But I don't, in terms of giving you a scientific explanation for it, I couldn't. I know when it sounds good and I know how to get it to sound good. But I think if you keep experimenting around with the right treatment and enough treatment, you'll be able to get it where you want it. And it will probably be very dry, meaning, with a lot of treatment in a very small space, you're not going to get it's going to sound there's not going to be any like reverb at all. It's just going to be dry, just like your face right there up in the microphone. But I think it can still work. Robert Reed confers the college bowl system is crazy. Hey, Professor Tracy in Rochester, Minnesota. Cars are the stepping stones of life. Boy, isn't that the truth? Buying a car is one of my favorite things. I like the experience. Some people hate it. I enjoy it. I like sitting in a dealership for an afternoon and test driving cars um and I guess it depends. I remember a time in my life when it gave me great angst because I thought, how am I going to make the payments on this thing? But I do enjoy the process. Good morning to you, Dave, in New York City. Denise, what's going on? Let's see here. I can't read from. I don't understand. Oh, happy Friday from Long Island. Is there okay, I got you, okay. Sorry, just had to for one thing, the font's extremely small. Secondly, I couldn't make out the LI. I got it now. Is there a pro way of asking for a review without actually saying it that way? Yeah, yeah. Here's the way you do it. You don't ask for a review, you thank people. In other words, what you can say, "Reviews are always appreciated." You can put it that way. So in other words, don't say, "Will you give me a review?" You could just make a very brief comment, "Reviews are always appreciated," and leave it at that. That way, it's saying you would appreciate a review, but you're not putting them on the spot. My interest is to know the best equipment for voiceover and software that you use. Well, I use Adobe Audition. That's my digital audio workstation. There's so many, if you're just getting started in voiceover, I don't recommend spending like $1,000 on a microphone. Start with like a Marshall MXL microphone or a good USB microphone. I mean, there's a number of uh, just about there's tons of decent microphones. That a lot of people think the equipment's what makes it. That's not what makes it. What's the old saying? It's not the arrow, it's the archer. So it's you and what you do with it and how you set up your space. It's not the equipment that you buy necessarily. So don't get too focused on that end of things. Although you do need equipment to do this, obviously, but don't go out and spend a bunch of money, especially at first. Anthony, good morning to you in Phoenix. John, any nice plans to enjoy grandchildren, family life, and football this weekend? Oh yeah, I plan to enjoy all of that. We actually had a movie night set up tonight at Mallory's house. So she owns all three of my grandkids. They're all three over there, and we were going to go over and watch a Christmas movie, but some sort of viral flu funk has been going around in circles in the family. They get it, and then it works its way around, then then it goes back and works its way around again. So we've decided to let them just kind of quarantine themselves for a few more days. Um, I'm sup We're supposed to take out, I think, our oldest grandchild tomorrow morning for breakfast. We rotate between the 3 of them, so we can spend some quality time with each one of them every Saturday morning. So we'll see how he was home from sick. He's home from sick actually today, too, from school, so we'll see how that goes. And then we're supposed to have a game night with Alex, my youngest son, and his fiancée tomorrow night. And again, we'll just have to see how everybody's doing. And of course, it's Bears football, and then if I can get the Cincinnati game, I'll be watching that as well. I'm not sure I'll be able to see it here in the Chicago market this weekend. Timothy in Altoona, hello. Doug in Greensboro, North Carolina. Denise, wait a minute, Denise, the stream moved on me. Let me back up and find you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Man, it took a big leap forward. My husband loves his F-150. Enjoy it. Yes, thank you. I will. Miss Johnny, how are you doing in Houston? Bill, I'm on my 5th F-150. This time it's a Lightning. Yeah, the electric version. Has a nice flip-over armrest that creates a flat workspace about 12 by 30. You know what, Bill? I seriously considered and there was a Lightning on the lot, and I didn't test drive it. I did test drive their Mach-E, though, their electric Mustang, and that thing is fast. Oh my gosh. I thought about it, but then I thought, you know what? It'll be fun. I told Vicky it'd be a nice toy, but I think after a year or 2, I'd be like, I could really use a truck more than I could use a little car like that. He also has this gorgeous Mustang GT Premium on the floor that I thought about too. But I've been down the Mustang GT road, loved it, but I don't like to have people have to pull me out of the car. I'm exaggerating. People don't have to pull me out of the car, but the point is, I think I prefer comfort over speed at this point in my life. Something easy to get in and out of. Hey, Tim, a Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 120 volt. I may test myself. There you go, Tim. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to you, Ralph in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Taylor in Budapest. Hey, what's up, Taylor? AG, how are you doing? GS from the Great Northwest. Sandra in Worthington has been using LinkedIn for emails. When I don't find an email, I've been using message on profiles and actually get a better response. Yesterday, 4 out of 10. Sandra, that's the way to work on LinkedIn. Fantastic. Now the key is that once you get that warm response, to stay in touch, and cultivate those. Marie in Texas with my iced white chocolate mocha. Enjoy your Michigan cherry. Thank you, and I am. One day I will try. After recording a demo, do I wait for audition or provide on a website? Well, when you have a demo, that your demo becomes your calling card. So if you're doing direct marketing where you need to send somebody to a demo to hear it, a website would be appropriate, which you don't need when you first get started. You can just work off other platforms, like, for instance, Fiverr.com or Upwork. Um, but you don't, in terms of auditioning, if you're going to like market yourself to an agent, you're going to need to send them to get those kind of auditions. You're going to need to get on their roster, and a demo is how you do that. If you want to get auditions through like pay to play sites, you'll need to upload your demo there. We got Mandy in Westchester. What's going on? Westchester, PA, that is, not OH or any other. There's probably a Westchester in every state, right? Excuse me. Need this this morning. Dean says, in your opinion, do you think it's absolutely necessary to have a professional voiceover demo before you send your demo to studios? Yeah, I mean, I think it's best. Here's what I tell my students. When you're first getting started, because it's thousands of dollars to get a really good demo. And it's going to pay for itself many times over. But you can earn that money by doing your own demo and then working off like freelance websites. It's lower hanging fruit. It's not going to be as big, to get bigger money, it's going to be bigger clients, more competitive people that you're dealing with. And so I think you need a pro demo before you start direct marketing. That's my opinion. Do your DIY demo, put it up on Fiverr, Upwork, ACX, and then earn the money to do the pro demo. Then, then that just kind of becomes an upward spiral from there. But I think that's probably, in my opinion, the best way to start off. Mark, Mother Nature's vengeance. Yes, indeed. We've got Rollis in San Antonio, Texas. Let's see here. Who am I missing? Andrew in Calgary. Oh, thanks for picking up the book. Andrew, appreciate that. Hope you enjoy that. Susan, my husband's first car was a Pinto. Can you explain noise floor? Well, if you've ever driven a Pinto, you very much understand noise floor. It's how loud the environment is around you. Noise floor is basically it's the sound a room makes when you're not making any sound. Let me give you, for instance, yesterday I had a recording session over Source Connect with a studio in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm near Chicago. So it was a remote session. They're recording on their end, so they record it in their studio while I'm doing my thing here. After the session, the engineer says, okay, and by the way, I've worked with the studio probably 100, 200 times, and we do this almost every session. He wants to get room tone, which is the same thing basically, is your noise, is your noise floor. Room tone is your noise floor. And so he wants me to sit silently, hold my breath for about 5 or 10 seconds while he records nothing, the quietness of my room. But even in the quietness of this room, there is a level of sound, environmental sound. That's your noise floor. And ideally, you want that to be minus 60 dB or lower. That, my friends, was a muted sneeze. Allergies. Let's see here. JR in Austin, Texas. Happy Friday. Sandy in Chicago. Robert. Okay, yeah. Robert, if you're in the 90-day voiceover blueprint and I want to continue on, drop an email to Vicky DeWeese, my wife, who handles all the administrative stuff for this training program. So that support email is training at BillDeweese.com. Training at BillDeweese, DEWEES.com, and she'll get y'all taken care of. That is what she does all day. And all night sometimes too. She is always on that computer, helping somebody. It's what she does. She's a very helpful person, detail-oriented. That woman does not miss anything. Nothing gets past her. I've tried. Nothing gets past her. Let's see here. Enjoy the F-150, Bill, from Pinto to doing voiceover for Lamborghini. Yeah, I know, right? It's been quite a ride. Now, understand, I don't own a Lamborghini, but I have recorded commercials for Lamborghini. Robert, good morning to you in Atlanta, Georgia. Ramon, good morning from Fleming Island, Florida. Tim in Chicago. Hey, what's going on? Mike in Spanish Fort, Alabama. Good morning to you. Mike in Chilly, York, Pennsylvania. Anthony says, generally, successful people aren't going out of their way to call other people hacks online. The haters can kick rocks. Yeah. And that stuff, believe me, that's not, I, whenever, if you ever decide to do something publicly, just prepare for, oh my gosh, people are brutal. Yeah, I get it. Not everybody's going to like everybody. I have no expectation that everybody will love me or like me. I get that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. We don't need to be best friends. But just to, call somebody a hack, that is pretty brutal. Wally, especially if you've got the goods to back it up too. That's the thing. I'd understand that if all I did was like coach for a living and I didn't actually do voiceover, and so I had nothing to back up what I did. I'm just, passing out advice, but can't do it. That I get. That I do get. But that's not the case. Wally, good morning. And the best future with your new Ford truck. Is it gas, diesel, or electric? It is gas. Yeah, I'm holding off. I did think about the electric. Here's the thing. Is that I really I want more than 250 to 300 mile range on a car. And I know Ford, as I understand it, Ford just struck a deal recently with Tesla, so that you'll be able to use Tesla chargers with Ford vehicles. So my point being, there are more and more stations becoming available places, but I don't want to have to go out of my way in my planning or in my stopping if I want to travel, and I don't want to have to wait a half hour, 45 minutes for my car to charge. And if I were to have bought an EV, if you're just working off regular household current, it can take like a week to charge a car fully. Now, my wife has a hybrid, and in that car, it only has like a 20-mile. If you use an EV only, it's like a 20-mile range. It's a gas hybrid, but so we don't have to use that. But even that on a home house current will take like 11 or 12 hours. So you have to spend $2,000 or $3,000 to have a special circuit put in your house with like a level 2 charger, so that it only takes maybe 11 or 12 hours overnight to charge a fully EV car. It's just, we're not quite there for me yet. Now, for some people, that's, that, and again, it depends on your usage and that kind of thing. But I'm always thinking, if I'm traveling, I want this thing to really work well for me and not make me go out of my way. All right, let's take a few here. That I do have to wrap this up. Let's see. We've got CJ in Florida. James. This reminds me, I need to get a new flu shot. I haven't had a flu shot in years. My doctor keeps telling me I need to get a flu shot. And it's not that I'm against flu shots. I always feel like crap for 24 hours, and I hate that. So I'm always, juggling that. How did I get into copywriting? Okay, there's a question. Well, Mike, here's how I got into it. I was a college student. I was a junior in college, and there's a radio station in town that was hiring. They were looking for a commercial copywriter. Well, I was not one, but they said they would train me, and they did. And I worked for a really good guy. And I was exposed to some really good information. I was taught well, and come to find out, I had somewhat of a gift for writing to begin with. It's just one of the things I can do. But once I was able to put that into a framework of commercial copywriting, and I got really good at it. And that core skill has served me so well throughout my life, not just in writing commercials, but in writing anything, business content. I managed a nonprofit radio station for a while, fundraising, in my training, which is very, I'd have to do a lot of sales related material. Uh, it has served me so well. I think it's a core skill that if you have it, and it's also understanding the persuasion and sales process, which everybody needs to understand to be a persuasive communicator. I'm not talking about manipulating people. I'm talking about being persuasive and understanding how to position and present something so that people can understand, and if it's something that they really want or need, that they'll want that thing. And learning how to write good copy is understanding that whole process. Theo, happy Friday to all from downtown Chicago. After a few days away in the Wisconsin Dells for some rest and relaxation, ready to hit the road running this morning. You know what, Theo? I've never been. I've been by the Dells a number of times. I've never actually been there. It looks like a fun place to be. Hope and pray your family gets better, says Maria. Hot tea and chicken soup. Thank you so much. Theo says, I miss my old Chevy Sierra. Loved it, but an F-150 sounds great. Big. I've got to give thanks to my late father-in-law, who he worked for Ford. He retired from Ford, and therefore put us in the Ford family plan. So whenever we do buy Fords, and we haven't always bought Fords, but we've probably driven them, Fords and some Lincolns more than anything else, and anything that's in the Ford family. I think even Jaguar and Land Rover fall into that. But we get you know, it's a no haggle discount. You get a bare bones price. When I say bare bones, I don't mean it's cheap. I'm just saying, you can't negotiate a better deal than what Ford gives family on their discounts. So it's a cool thing. At least if you're buying a new car, you can use that discount, not on used cars. But that's a whole other discussion for another day. Have you done any animation VO? If so, what's the most recognized character you voiced for, and which one was the most fun to VO? I'm not really a character actor. I've done a few things like video games and that kind of stuff. I would say, probably the most recognizable thing I would have ever done would have been for Lego. Not that it's all that popular, but Lego City Policeman. I actually voiced their plush doll for the European market. How did that happen? I'm not even sure how that happened, but it did. If you do this long enough and you market yourself aggressively enough, all kinds of crazy. You'll be recording commercials for Lamborghini, doing voices for Lego plush dolls and stuff you never would have imagined. That's again, I mean, those are kind of here and there. It's not my day-to-day bread and butter, but it's always fun to do. Wally says, say hi to Alex from us, Blueprinters. I'll do that. I know Alex misses you guys, but he loves his job. He's working for a production company, and this company does pro audio, video, and lighting for events. And I know he's in the process now of becoming certified on some big digital console, and he loves it. He's eating it up. As a man, I always choose my cars, trucks based on headroom, getting in and out, and legroom. James, I get that, especially like, I'm 6 foot, so I'm not like super tall. I'm tall enough. But if you're like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", or more, that becomes a real issue. And okay, let's see here. Oh, I lost my stream again. It kept moving. It's moving on me. YouTube's trying to prompt me to move ahead here. I test drove both a Chrysler convertible and this big Dodge Ram truck with built-in coolers. I must have them both. Hey, why not? Yeah. Good morning, Heather, James. Hey, Rob in Las Vegas, Jolie. Let's see here, Chad, Lemuel, James. Okay, guys. Sorry, I can't continue on any longer. It's 9 a.m. Central Time, and I gotta get moving on. Move on to my voiceover day. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.